Hey, what's up, VC? I'm back with another video. Like I said in my last video, I'm going to be doing a collection series, all my records. This is the rock and metal stuff over here, so I'll do this first and then do like country and other things. Sorry for the lighting. I still haven't figured out the right lighting angles and stuff, and sorry about the camera position. I just have it set up on some boxes and stuff because I don't have my tripod here. It's still at the other house and all this stuff. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to get into the first little section, which is going to be A. Then I'll do probably B today too. But yeah, we'll just get right into this. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but we'll just go with it. So first, before the letters, I do have one band that starts with a number, and it's 38 Special. I have their album Wild Eyed Southern Boys. It's a great album. And then I have Special Forces. And then I do have their album Tour de Force. Probably my favorite out of the three of those. This one's pretty cool. I don't know what it is, but the vinyl is actually like a translucent purple when you hold it up against the light. I can't show you here because I don't have any light to do it, but yeah, I saw this in a record store, and for whatever reason, I held it up to the light to look at it and just saw that it was purple, and I thought that was really cool. And I've looked at multiple copies of this since then at record stores and stuff, and have never found another one that's that same color. Then we have Lee Aaron. Her self-titled album. This is a German pressing of that. I know in Canada it had a different cover. This is a really great album with a bunch of cool people on here. You got Rick Emmett from Triumph. Who else do we have? Mark Santers from the band Santers, I believe, and Rick Santers, yeah. Frank Soda's on here. Just a bunch of Canadian people, really. And she's a fantastic singer, fantastic musician. I'd love to see her live. But haven't gotten the chance yet. But this is a great album. And then on to Accept, one of my favorite bands ever. Going to see them next month on the 10th, along with Pat Travers and Ace Frehley from Kiss. I've got their album Breaker. This is still in the shrink. This was given to me as VCLT from Ron Haggerty. So yeah. That's really cool. Thank you once again, Ron, even though it's been a good while. Then I have a German pressing of Balls to the Wall. And then Metal Heart in the shrink with the hype sticker. So that's really cool. This is a great album. Then we have Russian Roulette. Funny story about this, I was actually at a Half Price Books where I found a bunch of metal albums, and they were marked like $8 a piece, and this one was actually in the budget bin for $1, so I guess they didn't know that this was a metal album, so I ended up getting this one for $1 along with a bunch of other ones that I spent $8 on. And then we have, Accept, Kazuki Ban. I know I said that wrong, but this is a Back on Black reissue of their live album in Japan. And I'll show you this one. I'm not going to take them all out because that would take too long, but this one is on a translucent yellow vinyl. So that's really cool. I'm not one of those people that particularly goes out and gets the colored vinyl and all that, but these Back on Black reissues are pretty good about that. They're all colored, at least most of them. I've gotten a couple of them that are just literally on black, but some of them are uncolored, which is cool because it totally goes against the name of the company, Back on Black, because they're on colored vinyl. And this one is actually one of the newer ones I got that I never showed. It's their album Eat the Heat from 1989 with a different singer. This has David Reese on it. And this is a gold stamp promo copy. You can't really see it because it's over the barcode, but it's there. Found that for $10 at a Half Price Book, so that was a great deal. Then on to AC/DC. I'm not a huge AC/DC fan, but I do have a bunch of their albums. I do love the early stuff with Bon Scott, though. So I have Powerage, and this is still in the shrink. Then we have Back in Black, my least favorite album by them. When I play this, I skip the title track because I can't stand that song. It was my school's theme song, along with Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, and I just can't stand that song. But all the other ones are pretty good, but it's still not one of my favorite albums. But yes, I do have a copy of it just because. Then I have If You Want Blood. And as you can see, these aren't in chronological order. I just haven't gone through and done that. I'll do that eventually. And then Let There Be Rock, still in the shrink. And then for those about to rock, this is actually one of the albums that I listened to as a kid. It was in my dad's original collection that he had, but he had a bunch of albums that had been water damaged, and the copy I had was beat up, and this was an upgrade copy that I got. This is probably my favorite AC/DC from the Brian Johnson era. Then I have Bryan Adams' Reckless. I have 2 copies of this, but I'll just show this one because it's in the shrink. And then on to Aerosmith. We have Toys in the Attic, still in the shrink. I should probably take this off, but I kept it on because it's got the hype sticker with Sweet Emotion and all that on it. So that was cool. That was a cool find for $1. Then we have A Night in the Ruts. This is probably my favorite AC/DC album. A great album. And then Rocks. And then I've got Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. And what else do we have? Alaska, the Pack. This is cool. Found this recently. This is one of the newer ones I got. If I wouldn't have known who Bernie Marsden was from Whitesnake, I wouldn't have known about this album. But basically, this was a band after he left Whitesnake in the 80s. And it's a really good album. It's just a hard rock, you know, AORE type album. And this is a gold stamp promo. I got this for $2 at a record sale. So that was really cool to find. So if you haven't ever heard this, definitely check it out. It's great stuff. Then on to Alcatraz. Have No Parole from Rock and Roll, a Japanese copy of that. This is one of my favorite albums ever, of course, featuring Graham Bonnet on vocals, Yngwie Malmsteen. Just a great album, and I wanted a There's certain albums out there that I just want Japanese pressings of. Then I've got No Parole from Rock and Roll Live Sentence. And this copy is actually autographed by Graham Bonnet and Jimmy Waldo, the keyboard player, when I went and saw Graham and his band a couple of years ago. Then I have Disturbing the Peace with the hype sticker, also signed by Graham and Jimmy Waldo. It's a great album with Steve Vai on guitar after Yngwie left. Have another copy of that. Then we got Aldo Nova's self-titled album. Great album. I love, love, love Aldo Nova. And I have another pressing of that. Then I've got Subject, Aldo Nova. And I've got a copy in the shrink. Some of these I need to get rid of doubles. I just haven't. And I have Blood on the Bricks. This is a EP from the album that they put out with the hype sticker. This is pretty cool. They put like the album flat there, and then the vinyl is actually on. Well, might be able to. No, you can't see it in the video if I don't take it out. It's on this red translucent vinyl. But basically, it's just got the title track "Blood on the Bricks" and then "Young Love and Modern World." And it's a promo copy. So that was a cool find. Found it on eBay. Didn't know it existed. And bought it. I'd love to get the full album eventually, but I haven't found a copy yet. Then I've got Alessi Brothers, Alessi, I don't know, Words and Music. This album I found at Goodwill recently, and it was pretty decent. Then on to Greg Allman. Greg Allman Band. This is I'm No Angel. It's a pretty good album. The Best of the Allman Brothers. This is a compilation from, I believe, Germany. No, it's a regular U.S. press. For some reason, I thought it was a German press. Then we got Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, Dr. Slingshot. I know Scott Waters will like this. And then I've got another Amboy Dukes, Journeys and Migrations. This is just a compilation of some of their stuff. Then we've got Angel, White Hot. This was also another VCLT from Ron Haggerty. Thank you once again, Ron. Then we have Antics. This is an album most of you have probably never heard of, in the shrink wrap with the hype sticker. And as you can see, the reason I have this was one of the bands that Don Dokken from Dokken produced in the 80s. He produced a bunch of bands, and this was just one of them. It's not great, but it's some decent 80s cheesy metal. So I had to get a copy of that. We got April Wine, Electric Jewels, one of their early albums. And then Stand Back. And this is a U.S. press. I thought it was a Canadian. Okay. The Whole World's Going Crazy. Found this for $3.99 after looking for it for probably a couple of years. Then I have a copy of Forever for Now. This is a Canadian pressing on Aquarius. This was sent to me by Greg the Egg, Blackmore Rules. Greg, thank you so much for that. Then I've got April Wine Live. Live at the El Mocambo. And I've got a couple copies of First Glance, the US version. I'd love to get a Canadian version with the other cover. And then Harder Faster. This is a Canadian copy on Aquarius. And then I have a regular US copy of that also. Then I have The Nature of the Beast. This is probably my favorite April Wine album. Love this album. This is a Canadian copy on Aquarius as well. Yes. And then I have 2 regular copies of that. And then I've got One for the Road. This is a great live album from the 80s. Ordered this from Canada. And it's one of those albums I listened to as a kid. When I first started getting into music, I discovered this and I just always loved it. So I wanted a vinyl copy of it. And then we have Power Play. This version I had bought off eBay when I was first getting into albums and music, and it was supposedly signed by the whole band, but the more I look at it, I'm pretty sure they're all forged, but it's still cool to have. None of the signatures match up, and it just kind of a bummer, but I only paid like $20 for it, so it wasn't a total loss, and it's still a great album. We have Animal Grace. It's a great album with the big hit, This Could Be the Right One on it. And I have a 12-inch single of that same song. It's cool they got the stickers on both sides. And then I've got the Best of April Wine Rock Ballads. This is cool if you want to just get a greatest hits that has all their ballads and stuff on it. It's a great comp. And then we have Walking Through Fire. Then I've got Asia, their self-titled album. This is a Japanese pressing. Asia albums, I try to get Japanese pressings of all of them. I still need a copy of Astra as a Japanese copy. I know this is stupid, but I think it's funny to have Asian copies of Asia albums. It's one of those things. And I just love Japanese pressings. They're just so much better than regular US copies. Then I have Alpha as a Japanese copy. And like I said, I have a regular copy of Astra. I love Asia. And Atomic Rooster, their self-titled album. This is actually a Japanese copy of that. Unfortunately, it got water damaged and the cover's pretty shot, but still cool to have. Then I have another Atomic Rooster album, Nice and Greasy. This is a UK first pressing. This is a great album. Atomic Rooster is a very, very, in my opinion, unknown, underrated band. They're great. Carl Palmer was actually in that band, who went on to be in Asia. Then we got Axe, Offering, still in the Shrink. Great album. I love Axe. I need to get more of their albums in my collection. Then a copy of Nemesis. This is probably my favorite of their albums. And then that's it for the A section, so I will be back with the B section. Peace out.